Good morning, everyone. This is yours truly. Yes, and let's have this quick conversation as I drive to school. So, last week we began a series talking about creating a safe space for our students as a professional teacher. And I want us to take another aspect of it that we lay the foundations about what safe space or safe classroom is. And as I said last week, these are some of the questions that they can ask you in your interview sessions. How do you ensure or how do you create and ensure a safe space for your learners? And when that question is asked as broadly as it may seem, Emmanuel, good morning, you may have to think through it that it is not just about the physical safety of your students. So you don't skew your attention and your mind to only the physical safety. All right. You also have to look at other aspects of creating a safe space. And that involves emotional, psychological, and all the other aspects that you can think of. All right. It is broad. And as a professional teacher, I believe you have been taught this in your training, either at the university level or at the teacher training college level. So it is up to us to put it to use. Is that okay? It is up to us to put it to use. And I believe some of these conversations should be able to bring our minds back to it. Ni, Tete, good morning to you. Some of these conversations should be able to should bring our mind back to the things we learned in school. We all did child psychology, either in a semester or in a school year. All right, depending on which school you attended and the kind of teachers you had or the kind of curriculum they used. I know almost every teacher had done child psychology. MFI, good morning. Child psychology in one way or the other. So you should be able to, if I teach child psychology, I'm not only limiting it to little kids. All right. I'm not only limiting it to little kids. We talk about children from the elementary level all the way to the high school level. They are all considered children. I mean students. So let me classify them as such. And so it shouldn't be new to us. But I know most of us have forgotten that it is not appropriate to call students, hey, you. It is not appropriate to call students by their physical conditions. So as you have a student who has a problem with the leg, then in our local parlance, we start calling them Apache or Pozo, and that name will stick. If you come to some of these jurisdictions, it is an abuse of that child's physical condition, and they can take you on, they can sue you, they can sue the school. All right? It is not appropriate. It is not appropriate to physically harm students. These are all things you as a professional teacher can do. And I want to add up that one of the things you can do in creating a safe space for your students is to meet your students where they are. All right? In other words, adapt to your students. Adapt to your students. And I believe every professional teacher understands and knows that no two students are the same. All right? Or no two classrooms are the same. Your period 1 will be good. You have students who will pay attention, who will listen to you. But your period 2, you have students who are very rough. But it is your responsibility to adapt to these students. It is sometimes difficult. So you hear teachers say, oh, as for my period, my first period and second period, I don't have problem with them. It's my third period, that third period. That is where the problem is, because you may have one or two students there who are very, 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 very stubborn. They are beyond stubborn. You understand? Ellen, if said them good morning. They are beyond stubborn. In fact, they will give you trouble to the highest degree. They are the ones that will make your life very uncomfortable. They will make teaching very uncomfortable for you. And they will end up also making the teaching and learning process for other students very uncomfortable. Those are the ones that can cause you to either pack your bags and leave the classroom. And you see, in this part of the world, senior, morning, in this part of the world, that is what has created some of these opportunities for some of we teachers from other African countries or other parts of the world to come and enjoy. So one day you may wake up and a teacher will just get up and say, hey, you know what? F it. I'm done with all this BS. I'm gone. And that is how they will talk. They pack their bags, they are gone. The children come, they are standing by the door waiting for the teacher. No, the teacher is nowhere to be found. He or she is gone, he's done. You understand? At that moment, you cannot fault them because they are fed up with the misbehavior. They are fed up with the attitude of some of the students, not all the students. So it is your responsibility to adopt them. Sometimes that is where also a lot of teachers they don't want to be switching between moods. You understand? They don't want to be switching between moods. So the first period, second period, oh, you are all lively, you are happy, you guys are learning, you are teaching, everything is going on well. Then your third and fourth period will make life very unbearable for you. At that moment, you realize that you become very bitter. You are angry. And you become angry if you don't adapt to the kind of students you have. You understand? If you don't adapt to the kind of students you have, you become very angry, very bitter, and it messes up your day. And sometimes you take it home. Yes, some of us take it from the classroom and we send it home. Oladiran, good morning to you. We send it home. And so the new teachers who came last year, I said something, and I keep saying it on this platform. To be successful as a teacher in places like the US, Canada, UK, and other places, you ought to detach your head brain from the heart brain. In fact, the two cannot work. In fact, you cannot do this job with your heart. You need to do it with your head. Mr. Upon to the whole yes. You have to do the job with your head. If you do this job here, especially here in America with your heart, you'll get BP. You'll be sick. You'll be angry. In fact, all kind of sicknesses will enter your body. You understand? Because you are not applying the brain. And as you say in our local parlance, if the brain does not work, your body will be tired. It is very simple. If your brain does not work, your heart will be tired, you'll be pissed off, you'll always be angry. You are not adapting to your students. Sometimes if these students come with hate, sometimes you got to come still with love, because some of them are misbehaving that way because they want to show off certain attitudes. They want to prove a point to somebody in the school. They are trying to look gangster. They are trying to be, boss. Most of them are having a lot of insecurities. They are having a lot of complexes they are dealing with. Inferiority complex. You understand? And that is the only way. You are the only one, or your classroom is the only avenue where they can show off those attitudes. So you have to adopt. I know it is difficult sometimes, but you have to adapt to these things very well. So, Mr. O, how do I adapt to 15 students who are misbehaving in my class? Senior, I take greetings from the motherland. See that today we are doing negative 10 this morning. Oh. I've driven this car for the almost 40 minutes now. And still my temperature is very low, 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Eh? But I know you are the senior of all temperatures. So, Canada people, as for you, we don't want to compare our temperature to you people at all. But this negative 10 is really, the water in my car has frozen. Can you imagine? Eh? Small negative 10. See. Oh, sorry. Small negative 10. See, the water in my car, I left it in the night. It is frozen. Mm. So, Mr. O, I have 15 students. I have 10 students. I have 20 students. How do I adapt to all of them? You, as a professional teacher, have to identify every student by character, by name. Look, I'm teaching students, which some of them are a little older. Some of them have given birth and stuff. And do you know what I do? I have to even write some of these students, their babies' names. I call them, hey, how are you? How is your baby? One student said the baby is called Cairo. And I say, hey, I have to ask about them every morning. So I know the student by whatever. I know the baby's name. And that is one way of connecting with them. Do you know what it means to know somebody's baby name and be even concerned and asking about how the baby is doing and other things? Can you imagine? They feel so proud that you at least you are showing some level of love, as fake as it may be or whatever. They accept it. You understand? And it's nice. But you don't want to know anything about that child. The student file has been given to you. You need to read. This student has ADHD. This student has anxiety. This student had this characteristic. This student have this health problem. That is the way you can adapt. So the moment the student is misbehaving, they say, oh, you don't need to stress yourself. You understand? You don't need to stress yourself. Okay? Instead of just getting pissed off, angry every day. No. Don't stress yourself. You only have to set some boundaries, set some rules for these students. Namesake, set some boundaries and set some rules for them and make sure you encourage them to adhere to it. Even if you have to use group activities, use group activities. Keep emphasizing and keep talking about respect for each other. I mean, because some of them will come trying to use all these bad words in class. And you also don't want to take it. And they too, they want to use it. So how do you, find a common ground to work? Teaching and learning process has to still go on. These little things you do will create that safe space. Look, a time will come, that student will walk to you and realize that, listen, what I keep doing in this class is not working. So I need to adapt another strategy. Call the parents, talk to the parents, reach out to them, reach out to other teachers. Hey, how do you handle this student? How, if this student is behaving this way, how do you handle him or her in your class? Can you share some ideas with me? Then you are creating an adaptation. Because adapting to students is not that simple. It doesn't come off by one day. But sure. It has no. It takes time. But it will all depend on how quickly you create that adaptation process, or how quickly you want to adapt to them, and how quickly you think they will be able to fit into your agenda. Because you need to find ways and means. You cannot use one size fit all approach. No, I keep saying that thing. Certain ideas and techniques will help, but you cannot just keep one size fit all. No, one size cannot fit all. The way you treat Anthony will be different from the way I treat Bashir if they are all talking. Because probably I know Bashir has this particular issue, this. So if Bashir is talking, I know that, listen, this is not the normal talking. Maybe Bashir is having an episode. If Anthony is talking, I know that Anthony does not normally talk. So if Anthony starts talking, then I know there is a problem. Boniface does not come to class and eat in class. So the moment Boniface starts eating in class, I know that there is a problem. Okay, how do I accommodate his eating in class? You know? You don't just get angry and say, hey, put the food away. You don't eat in this class. Shut up. No. For some of them, you can tell them to shut up. For some of them, you cannot, because the moment you say shut up, you have killed the spirit. You understand? Yeah. For some students. Shine may be in your class, and Shine may be the quiet type. Shine may be very smart, but very quiet. All right? Shine may be very smart, but you know those students who don't talk. Joshua, they don't talk. But every work you give, they are the ones that are getting 100. Every work you give, they are the ones that are getting 100. You understand? Shine may be that student. How do I adapt Shine's way of learning or behavior in my classroom so that he or she can get the best out of this classroom? These are all processes. Josh, these are all ways to create a safe space for your student. So get it. As we've talked about some already, if you don't watch that video, please get them from my page and watch them. Add this thing up. I know it's a lot to consume, a lot of data, a lot of information, but we shall definitely get there. And as I always encourage and treat us, Mauli, let us all start practicing these things in our own small way. You may be in a village. You may not have all the amenities you have or you need. Senior, you may not have all the amenities. You may not have every resource that you need as a teacher. But in your own small way, if these students can work from home and be able to come and tell you that, Sir Benjamin, I have not eaten today, and I don't know what I'm going to eat after class. That student communicating that to you feels safe in a way. You understand? Because once you create that safe space, right, things will start flowing. You see students' behavior. It will be so fluid. I know sometimes it takes some time to attain, but it becomes so fluid. The behaviors, the flow of lesson, how you communicate with them. Sometimes you can just blink. And Josh understands that when Mr. O blinks this way, I know what to do. Because I have adapted to Josh's way of communicating with me. Maybe Josh wants to look at me quietly and not say anything. Josh, are you okay? Josh will nod the head. All right? Josh, is everything okay? Then Josh will look at me and bow the head again. So from time, I'll just, okay, let me adapt non-verbal communication with Josh. So I have a conversation with Josh. We lay out the foundations, know what is happening. Then I'll say, okay, Josh, henceforth, if you want to go out to the bathroom, blink your eye to me or blink twice to me. I understand. That is my way of adapting to him. Kenny will be look, I had a student in my class who literally wee-weed on himself, sitting there. You know why? Because he's a special student though, but he was very smart. And he said he couldn't tell me because I wasn't looking at him. And he doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to say it loud. So he was expecting me to create an eye contact. Then he'll tell me that he wants to use a bathroom. And I'm like, we are very few in this class. You should have spoken loud. Before I say Jack, the guy was sitting there and I saw Wee on the floor. After everyone left, he wasn't getting up. And I told him, it's okay. And I went to pick paper towels, put it on the floor to dap it. And I said, hey, it's okay, you go ahead. He was so shy of himself. And I felt bad as a teacher because I could not communicate with that student the way he would have loved to be communicated with. You understand? Because I couldn't adapt to him at that time. He was a new student to my class. And I felt so bad. I felt so sad. I get to my point. So that is one way. Because if that student feels so safe, he would have either walked to me and said, Mr. O, I want to use the restroom. Or he would have, raised the hand and just talk. Mr. O, can I use the restroom? Yeah. Shine. It is the way we sometimes create these spaces around these kids. So some of them will hold even their wee-wee, will hold even their urine to the extent that they'll be having infections. Trust me, this thing we talk about, right? It will seem like, oh, Mr. O, as for you want to. No. We learned it in school. I went to uni, but we learned these things. We all did special education. No matter the course you do special education. No matter the course you do child psychology, you will learn something about students. But do we practice it in the classroom? No. Until I came to America and I realized that, listen, these things every day you have to be on your toe. Sometimes as a teacher, you get so pissed off that you people cry, you are doing too much. But deep down, you realize that no, they are not doing too much. They just want you to put the best and the professional practice to use in the classroom. You understand? So that is one thing I would say. So today I'm going to leave it there. Adaptation in your classroom is one way of creating a safe space for your students. Adapt to them. Let them adapt to you. So that when you are calm and say, hey, guys, you know what we are doing. In the first 20 minutes, you know. Without saying anything further, every student in your class know that in the first 20 minutes, these are the routines. They have a routine to follow. After that, the moment you stand up, because I have communicated and they have adapted to me, the moment I get up and I stand in front, everything ceases. That is how it should go. You have one or two being deviant, but trust me, it is very, very important. They are very essential, Kenny. Very, very essential. Trust me. Oh, yes. They are very, very essential. And a lot of us overlook these things. And we tend to make it look like you are doing too much. You are always trying to force US staff on us. No, these are not US staff. Oh. You see, when I started teaching here, then I realized that, these things people are talking about are things we learned back in college and back in the university. But the only thing is that we were not practicing it because our school system and our setup back home in Ghana, for instance, does not help, does not support us at doing some of these things. But I believe that if we can, in a small way, oh, you don't need to do too much, oh, Amen. In a small way, start looking at these things from those perspectives. It will help all of us. And I believe we will create better students, better people for the future. Trust me, because you want those students to leave you, go out there and thrive. How is that possible? It is possible, depending on how you handle them. You understand? Depending on how you handle them. Depending on how you handle them. It is very, very, very important. Abna, Abna, how are you? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, let me go. I think I can go. Yo. All right. So that is my little piece for you today, Mr. Boachi. And I hope you can share this video to somebody, share it to your teacher page as much as possible. Let us all try to be professional. It is not from me, no. It is because that is what we were trained for. Letitia, that is what we were trained for. Letitia, how do you adapt to your students in your classroom? Can you share with us, Letitia? Letitia, how do you adapt to your students? We are talking about adaptation. How do you adapt to your students? Amelia or Amalia, King Francis. Letitia, thank you for the stars. So come and talk about adaptation. You are sending stars. Thank you anyway. I appreciate it. All right. I appreciate it. We are talking about creating a safe classroom experience, or a safe classroom for our students. And today I focus mainly on adaptation to our students. How do you adapt? Learn to adapt. Why are you blowing horn? The queue is not moving. What is wrong with you people? We are talking about adaptation. How do you adapt to your students, and how do they also adapt to you? That is one way to create a safe space for them. All right. I'll leave you guys here. Let me hear it in the comment section. Let's read it in the comment section. Share with me how you are able to do the little things that create a safe space for them, so that other teachers can also learn. All right. Let us all share. That is what I keep sharing. Let us all keep sharing until we all can practice the little things. Not insulting students, not calling students by the shape of their head, not calling them by their deformities or their disabilities, not making them feel like they don't belong to that space, but rather encouraging them to be part of the learning process. All right? That is what we need. Tagwanti. Tag, God bless you. God bless you for the stars. You people have been embarrassing me with stars these days, so I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it. Tag, can you share with us your experience so far in the US? How you have been able to adapt to these students? Kenny says, I learned a lot. I learned early to make the kids make their own rules in the classroom to start. Yes, that is very good also. In creating a safe space, we talk about it. That is also a very good thing to do. Help them to create the rules, so they police each other and they police you. Because the student can tell you, Mr. Kenny, you said we shouldn't speak vernacular in this classroom, but you are speaking vernacular. Mr. Kenny, you said we shouldn't use bad words, but you are using bad words. They will police you. These students, if the rules come from them, they will police you, and they will police their other colleagues as well, to make sure that we all live in harmony and do things right. So that is very good. Ellen says, I try to know them on a personal level by knowledge, their likes and dislikes. That is also good. That is also good. Salim, that is also good. Achampong. So you try to know them on a personal level. Tomorrow I will talk about that a little bit. Building relationships. Okay, very, very important and very, very crucial in creating a safe space or a safe classroom. Building relationships, very, very, very important. And not the kind of relationship we have seen in recent times, where male teachers have certain kind of relationship with female students. No, not that kind of relationship that we are talking about. We are talking about professional teacher-student relationship. We are talking about professional teacher-student relationship. Rita, good morning to you. Stephen, good morning to you as well. Thank you all so much for the contribution and for interacting with me this morning. I appreciate it. And let's do this again. And thank you all for giving me stars. Man, the stars are popping, and I appreciate it. Okay? I appreciate it. It encourages me to do more. It encourages me to wake up every morning to come here. Look, there are so many things I have to do. There are so many calls I have to answer to. Okay? But I still have to interact with you so that we can share the little thing I have also learned. The little knowledge I have also learned, so that we can all become as professional as possible that we can. Mhm. So that we can all be as professional as possible. Especially those of you aspiring to come to the US to teach. Those of you aspiring to embark on this teaching journey. It is very, very important. Start practicing these things now. Tagwanti will bear me witness. I told him, look, start practicing these things now. Change the way you teach. Change the way you interact in the classroom. Change the way you deal with your students. Change the way you talk to them. Change the language. That way, when you come here, it becomes easy for you to do. But if you are still in your old ways of doing things, if you are still stuck in the old ways, as for you, you don't want to, you don't want to change, and you just want to remain the same way you've been teaching it. Because after all, no one monitors you, right? You don't have any accountability levels. You don't have any level of accountability to anybody. You don't account to anybody. You understand? Yes, you don't account to anyone. So it's like all play all. Sharon, good morning to you. Sit, 99 stars. Thank you. 99 stars. I appreciate it, man. God bless you. Tagwanti says IEP student took the marker from me to teach, telling me she has a new strategy better than what I do. You see, I took it cool, yes. And I believe we have talked about what IEPs are. Haruna, good morning. We have talked about what IEPs are and 504 plans. So it is much more of you being able to adapt easily to them. Is that okay? Being able to adapt easily to them. Okay? That is the only way you can do it. That's the only way you can do it. And he said that is his way. I mean, that student may take that marker from you, but hey, you don't have to be angry. You don't have to be pissed off or anything, because what? Okay, let me duck behind him. Okay, hold on. Let me go around and see what I can do. In our own small way, what will you do when a student come to take a marker from you in your local way? What will you do? A student comes to take the marker from you and say, when I'm the teacher, I know how to teach this topic better than you. In our own local way, we will be angry, right? We'll get so pissed off. Say, what do you know? Shut up, sit down. What do you know? Shut up, sit down. But all you know, the student may even explain the thing better to them than you yourself. Abena says, being harsh on students yields no results. To be their friend with boundaries, learn to control your emotion and address issues professionally. Thank you so much, Abena. You are doing something in your own small way. That is very important. Noble, it is very important. Alberta, good morning. It is very important. Being harsh on them doesn't yield any result. But being able to adapt to them and let them adapt to your style. Boom, you create magic in your classroom. All right? So as I was closing up, those of you who are desiring to come here, start practicing these things, because it is an everyday essential that is required of you as a teacher when you come to these places. You don't have the room to be your local teacher that you used to be. No, you don't have that room to play around. No. You have to be calling students, calling parents, interacting with them, checking with them, filling forms, attending IEP meetings, making sure that you are providing accommodations, making sure all these things create that safe space you want. So there are things that student can tell you and not tell the parents. You understand? There are things that student can tell you, the teacher, and none of the friends or the parents will be aware of because of the safe space you have created for them. Mr. Oye says you should be glad to get students who walk up to the board and explain. It is very serious. Oh. It is not all like Ghana or Africa or Nigeria where you can have a student come to the board and solve questions. Here they don't. They don't want to even get up. Number one, they are shy, they are scared. So many things. Even though they may know the thing, they all like, they will laugh at me. It is hard. It is, look, sometimes my former principal, Mr. Corner, he would walk to my class and say, how do you get them to come to the board and write? Because he was so amazed that my student can get up, come to the board and work out and talk to other students. Say, hey, you know, this is what Mr. O was talking about. You need to do this with. And he was like, I'm done. I'm done with you because you are already, how do you get them to come? These students, once they sit in their chair, they don't want to get up. They don't want to get up. So it is good to even have students come to you and say, Mr. O, I know how to explain this better. That is a sign of students having, knowing that they are in a safe space. So nobody will laugh at them. Look, if students laugh at other students' work in your classroom, you are not creating a safe space for them. That is another topic we'll talk about. As a professional teacher, that poorest student should be your friend. Yep, it is true. It is true. You know, it is true. Thank you, guys. My time is up and I've gotten to my destination. We'll talk about it again. Okay? We'll talk about it again. Let's keep learning and let's keep being professional. Adios. Bye-bye.